What do people need to really think about as they are, when somebody has a rental or is looking to buy a rental? We're talking a little bit about the design that's going to be appropriate to really attract the right renters, I guess, in your case.
And design, I mean, we can go so many different ways with design. If it's, I do a lot of focusing on student housing. So the layouts of a student house, the actual design of the interior needs to be a certain way to make it work. You're looking to maximize profit by maybe having more bedrooms in there than instead of a giant living room. But design on regular rental properties for just, one or two people living in the house can be updating, making sure that house is current with, what houses look like today. I mean, I know a few owners that they always have a hard time renting out their property. Well, it's because the property hasn't been updated since 1960. It looks old and outdated.
Shag carpet,
yeah. Old kitchens, they do need attention, and they do need to be updated to attract new tenants and increase your cash flow by increasing rent.
Is that something that you see more now than maybe 5 years ago? Because so many people who maybe have been foreclosed on, they've short sold their home, and people who were buyers maybe are looking to rent now, so they have a little bit more better taste, I guess you could say.
Yes, the rental demand has increased because people aren't necessarily always buying, or people are, they're living in rental properties a lot longer. So, but they don't want to live in a dumpy place. They want a nice place that they're going to stay in, and they want it to be relatively updated with relatively updated appliances. And that also adds to a great selling feature for the owner. You can usually charge more if you have a nicer place. If you have energy efficient appliances, all those things add into a nicer design inside and a better place for the tenant and better rental property for the owner.
You mentioned appliances, and appliances aren't really that expensive in the grand scheme of things. I mean, you can go to, one of these big box stores and probably get a new washer or dryer.
Definitely.
For, $1,000, something like that. But
exactly.
Then you do get that back.
You do. And, there's even energy efficient appliances that have been on the market for so long. You can even go to used energy efficient appliances, cut that $1,000 in half, and still get the cost savings for the tenant, who's looking for energy efficient. And
stainless steel, of course, right?
Stainless steel, those little things that we all like when we buy a house are very important when people are going to rent a house.
And so when you start seeing people going in, and we've talked about this lots on the show, people get married to the deal. And I'm sure that's even more so when people start buying rental properties, right? You want to get the lowest price. It's so important. But sometimes I would think that would sacrifice the attractiveness to the renter.
It does. It's a combo of, we need to find a rental property that works, but if you are getting the one for really cheap, there's probably a reason why, because it's probably not updated. So you can save money on your mortgage payment by buying the one that needs to be fixed up, but you need to also fix it up. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out for you. So those are things that, I usually work with a client, and we'll figure out how much money to put into the property to update it, get it current, and get, a higher rent for it.
Outside of just updating, I mean, I remember renting, even buying, and everybody thinks, oh man, that place has got a hot tub, right? It's a couple $1,000s, but everybody's, it's got a hot tub, right? And I mean, there's certain features that just grab attention too. I mean, maybe beyond the appliances.
There are outdoor living space or outdoor, any type of deck, barbecues. Those things in our area definitely increase its attractiveness. So you do need some selling features.
In summer.
In summer,
With 6 inches of snow on the ground last month, I'm sure, I don't know if people were looking out there going,
I saw a guy in shorts.
Let's barbecue.
He was walking around eating ice cream cone and wearing shorts. So everybody likes their own thing. But that is a way to stay competitive with your competition. And other rental houses are your competition. And also now these newer apartment buildings who offer a lot of amenities. They offer gyms and pools and barbecues. So being able to offer a place like, a barbecue area in some, on some of these properties, maybe they don't have decks, but having a dedicated space that the owner can build for very cheap, put in a barbecue, that adds to its attractiveness and might be something that
the livability. I mean, you start increasing the sexiness of the property, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And whenever I'm showing a rental property, it's always, I'm not pointing out the bedroom, I'm pointing out the lifestyle. Like, here you are, you're living close to, Belltown, or you're living close to the city where you want to be. It's not property, it's the lifestyle, it's the livability, as you put it, and having extra features definitely go a long way.
Jared, we have a couple minutes left. Again, we're here with Jared Fraser of StartOwningRentals.com. What if people are having a hard time renting out their property? I mean, maybe they've done some of these things. What are some ways that people can maybe get that property rented? Outside of building a barbecue pit.
There's a lot of times it could be the way you're marketing. Maybe you're not wording the property right. Like I said, you're selling the lifestyle. You're not selling a bedroom or a bathroom. Those things are important, but you want to highlight its conveniences, its location of where it's at. That's what people are more interested in. The ease of parking, if that, you offer parking spots. There are other things you can do.
Do people stage rentals? We have people talk about staging a lot here. And I mean, it's kind of that same gig, right? You're just trying to, like you said, sell that lifestyle. I mean,
you can. I have seen some higher end rentals get staged, but typically they don't. I mean, they don't spend the money on staging. But paint colors, that's a form of staging, just sprucing the place up. Adding color to the living space definitely would be a rental type of staging. Allowing the tenant to maybe change those colors in the future is, an option, maybe just in the bedrooms, but making it look nicer, newer trim.
Even just new paint. And actually, Kathy Bannock's going to join us next, and I'm sure she can talk a little bit about paint since she's got her own line over there.
Anything but all white. You'd be surprised how many rental properties are just all white.
Insane asylum paint jobs?
Yes. Adding a splash of color goes a long way, and I definitely have seen it over many, many years of just people, this place looks so much nicer, and it's smaller than the one I showed them earlier, but it's just, you got to have that design to it.
I like the places you walk into, and not only are they all white, but they have like white Corian counters and white refrigerator, white oven, white microwave, and you look at it, and I mean, it's bright. It's like blinding when you walk in.
With the fluorescent lights, it doesn't go far.
The plastic cover over the fluorescent light.
A little bit of a hum in that light.
If your kitchen ain't humming, man, I don't know what to do,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. So it just comes down to just keeping things modern. Every 10 years, just a little sprucing up can go a long way in keeping your rent and cash flow higher.
Well, Jared, thanks for joining us. And, if keeping things modern is every 10 years, it shouldn't be that hard.
It should not be, no.
Well, Jared, designing something to rent is, I guess, as important as buying that rental, finding the right property, because the end goal in that is making sure that somebody wants to go and move into that property and pay you money.
Exactly. It's very important. And it's not only just increasing rent, it's also decreasing downtime. So if you can keep renters in there for longer or have shorter breaks in between moving in and moving out, all that does is increase cash flow and profitability for the owner.
Yeah, we have to go to break, but I think that's a huge point is, from the financial side, if you miss out on 1 month's rent, guess what? You could have taken that 1/12 of that, lowered your rent by 1/12%, rented it that month, and then it would have made up for itself over the course of a year.
Exactly.
When we come back, Jared mentioned a little bit about paint colors, and if there's one person we know who knows about paint, it's Kathy Bannock, and she's going to come in, talk to us a little bit about design and what people are doing to take on that big project. My name is Ben Brash, and that was Jared Fraser. You're listening to Brashenomics.